Welcome back to Outlook Portland. My guest this morning is Jeff Merkley. Jeff, as Speaker of the House of Representatives here in Oregon, you led the way with historic reform on putting caps on the interest rates that payday loan companies could charge low-income Oregonians, predatory loans. The big issue today, of course, nationally is the subprime mortgage collapse. And here in Oregon, we have the prospect of tens of thousands of homeowners potentially losing their homes because of this. As Senator Merkley, what would you do to help protect Oregonians now?
Here is the key. We have to have guidelines for loans that, instead of stripping wealth, build wealth. That's why we had to end the triple-digit interest rates, the 500% interest rates on payday loans and title loans, and it's why we have to get rid of any kind of I gotcha cleverness in mortgages that destroy the financial base of our families. These subprime loans often have those kind of clauses. They need to be made illegal. A person should not be paying extraordinary prepayment penalties to be able to switch out of a high-interest loan years into the loan. They shouldn't have things that trigger higher interest rates along the way that were not clear in the loan to begin with.
Congressman Barney Frank, chairman of the House Financial Services Committee, has been pushing for greater disclosure at the front end and also giving folks a chance to bring a lawsuit against a bank or a mortgage company if they've been misled in terms of interest rates and the terms. Is that the way to go, do you think?
Well, that's a possible way to go, but another way is to, instead of waiting until after there's been harm done and engaging in lawsuits, let's fix the problem on the front end so the families don't get into this position to begin with.
Jeff, another big issue is, of course, energy policy. Price of oil is going up. Obviously, gas is becoming more expensive. We have a chance here in Oregon to lead the way in alternative fuels. What's the centerpiece of your policy on energy?
We have to completely transform our energy policy. Gordon Smith has been supporting spending $1 billion a day in foreign oil and giving billions of dollars of tax breaks to oil companies that are already having extraordinary profits. That does nothing but perpetuate our dependence on oil from foreign dictators. What we have to do is return to an investment in the United States in alternative energy, in biofuels, which will tremendously help the agricultural base in Oregon, will support rural communities throughout the state, and it will create living wage jobs, and furthermore, it will help slow down and then reverse global warming, which is a huge issue that faces us.
Since 1993, the Oregon legislature has been unable to agree on an increase in the state gas tax. And a lot of people think that an increase in state gas tax will not only discourage use of oil and gas and promote alternative transportation, also help us pay for our infrastructure. Why has the legislature been so reluctant to raise that gas tax?
Well, certainly when you already have the fact that our energy policy, the one supported by Senator Smith, is raising the price of gas for us and has driven it from $1 up to $3, people already feel like they're paying a gas tax. And indeed, it is a tax in that it's translated into the cost of our current energy policy. What we need to do is help make alternatives available to Oregonians. We need to invest in hybrids in this country, but make them affordable to ordinary families, families like yours and families like mine.
Finally, we have about a minute and a half left in this segment. I want to give you a chance to talk about health care. It is perhaps the big issue now domestically that's separating out the candidates for president. Is there a plan that a Democrat has offered for president that you like, and where do you want to take the country on health care?
Here is the key. President Truman said 60 years ago, we need to have a health care plan that serves every man, woman, and child in this country. And here it is 60 years later, and we don't have it. In fact, we had a woman collapse at a gathering 2 weeks ago, and as she's on the floor and as a physician's talking to her saying, you must go to the emergency room, she kept saying, I can't go to the emergency room. I don't want to go to the emergency room. And the reason why, she finally said, is, listen, I can't go to the emergency room. I can't afford it. I can't afford to go. I don't have health insurance. That is not a health care system. Here in Oregon, we have 120,000 children who do not have access to health care. If we were to line up those children, they would stretch in a line from where we are in this studio right now to the Capitol in Salem, a line 40 miles long with one behind the other. That is not a health care system. It is time we absolutely have to fulfill Truman's vision of health care for every man, woman, and child.
Jeff, we have to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about how do you win this election and a little bit more about Jeff Merkley. This is Outlook Portland. Please stay tuned.